Morning. Sunday morning. Matthew at Maddie's Auto Repair in Niagara. This project that I'm working on, don't need the hoist for it. I had a gentleman, a customer reach out. They wanted some valve springs put in an older Chev. I believe this is a 5.7 350 small block Chevy. Couple of things. This brings me back because this is one of the first motors, one of the first engines that I've ever done in my career, ripped out of my own 1990 Chev. I had rebuilt that engine, put a cam in it, did some other things, painted it up. That was the very first thing that I ever did before I got in this field, when I was going to Fox Valley Tech and then working at Broadway. Brings back a few memories. To change valve springs, you need a few tools. It's nice when the engine's out of the vehicle like it is, but the snap-on leak down tester is really handy. This allows us to put shop air to each one of these cylinders as we're taking the valve springs loose. Then I have my handy dandy, this is an older style valve spring compressor. They make a bunch of different kinds of valve spring compressors, things that would bolt right onto the block here that you'd be able to get leverage. This thing works just fine. I ended up welding a 9/16 3/8 socket on that thing to make it a little easier. Engine stuff is stuff that I like to get into. This is my passion. This is kind of where I started in this career. And again, this brings back some memories. But you want to apply shop air, and then basically we're using that valve spring compressor to push the springs down, and then the little keepers in here, once these springs are compressed, you're able to pull these keepers out. Now, something like a small black Chevy 350, 305, whatever, the keepers are pretty big. They're conical in shape. They go in one way and they lock. I've done anything from valve seals to valve springs on other engines, newer stuff. I've run into broken valve springs on Ford 6.2 liters, 5.3s, doing valve seals on 5.3s. You can do that in chassis if you have all the proper equipment. Again, you want to apply shop air so you're not dropping a valve in there. That's going to keep, with the rocker arms off and the cam unloaded and all that, that's going to keep the valves pushed up in their seats and allow you to work. Take the springs off, get the keepers out. These keepers are really big. Some of the newer stuff, you need a different valve spring tool and different tools in general. I have a wide range of different special tools, especially working on Chevy 2.4 liters, smaller engines that have really tiny keepers, and that's where a magnet comes into play, and also a tweezers and some dielectric grease when you're going back together, because those keepers are real tiny. This Chevy 5.7 here, pretty straightforward. So we're gonna end up changing out the exhaust and the intake valve springs for this gentleman, setting the lash as best I can with the engine out of the vehicle. Lash is something that you should be adjusting with this running in the vehicle, to take up the lash between the lifter and the rocker arm so that it has proper performance and making no noise. But again, engines, shit I love to do, stuff I've loved to do from day one. And again, this is right back to the beginning, 17 years earlier, when I was doing work on my own 350 in my garage. No hoist, virtually not a lot of tools, not a lot of knowledge. Started from square one, and here I am 17 years later, got my own shop, host of tools, 2 hoists, an employee, and it's coming full circle, and it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna get this dialed in today on Sunday, and then help another buddy with some other POSs that he's bringing in to check those out and see what's going on, and go from there. So make it a great Sunday.